York are just incidental. The problem exists because white people think they're better than black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
that white people think they're better than others?
I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years, and we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. Your law is a farce, and we see it every day. You demonstrated it in Alabama. And I can say you because you're part of the whole system. You profit from it. In fact, you make your living from it. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you tried to force upon us is contaminated.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to do a quick video. I was in the barbershop, right? And as I was in the barbershop, it really just dawned on me how influential and just how important the Black American barbershop is to the ecosystem of Black Americans here. And I wanted to kind of talk about that. So I wanted to pull up an excerpt, and that excerpt that you just watched was from a brother named Ernie Chambers, who was at the time a barber in Nebraska, right? And so that specific excerpt was from a movie called America Against Itself, A Time for Burning. And basically kind of what the movie was about was just kind of the overall aspect of what was going on in America, right, for Black Americans at that time. And he wanted to make it clear just kind of the plight and where they stood, right? And so I think Ernie Chambers, being a Black American, right, he was also an American politician and a civil rights activist, right? He represented the northern part of Omaha's 11th district, and he was also a concurrent, all right, guys, a concurrent, okay, politician and also former state senator. So this is a guy who came straight from the barbershop and took that all the way to the state senate. And I wanted to kind of speak on that because for me, at least, the Black American barbershop not only represents somewhere where Black American men would go to not only, you know, take care of themselves, get their hair done, all that good stuff, but it was also a place where we discussed politics, where we spoke about what was going on in our communities, how a lot of us generationally congregate, meet, and speak to one another. Also, I mean, without having to say all the way, but I mean, it is what it is. It is also a style statement, right? The styles that were created in Black American barbershops have literally, okay, influenced the entire world. And I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the influential influence of the Black American barbershop, guys, because, you know, I'm a huge enthusiast of Black barbershops. I've been going to one ever since I was a kid. My dad took me to the barbershop. My grandfather took my dad to barbershops. It's just, you know, a rite of passage in the Black American community. And so I wanted to do a video about that. So it's great that, you know, I start this off with a brother who really showed the importance, right, and the overall depth that people who were just barbers, right? This is just a barber, right? Who actually had a huge level of substance, a huge understanding of knowledge of self. And not only that, an understanding of the system that we have to fight against today, right? So let's get a little bit into that. Black American barbering has a long history rooted in slavery, evolving into a pillar of community and cultural expression. Initially used as a way for enslaved people to earn money, It transformed into a way to build wealth and serve the Black community after the Emancipation Proclamation, with barbershops becoming a vital hub for social, political organizing, business, and identity. Today, they continue to serve as an important cultural centers for conversation and community bonding. So, I mean, that really does go to the point, like I mentioned, it's just the fact that Black American barbershops were created as spaces for us to not only be able to congregate and be able to speak to one another, but it was also a way for men to build wealth, for them to have their own businesses, for them also to be able to cultivate a community within their community, right? And so I think the barbershop, just in general, the way that we were able to use the barbershop, as a lot of people like to say, as our country club, right? Black Americans, Black American men specifically, and women who go to beauty shops as well, the Black American barbershop was their country club. It was a place for them to relax, a place for them to speak freely, right, amongst themselves, right, to be able to plan, to be able to look at certain scenarios and say, hey, how do you guys feel about this? Or do you think we should do this? Or making plans, looking at things that were going on currently, right? And so I think sometimes, you know, when I'm sitting in the barbershop and I'm waiting to get my hair cut, or I'm listening to the conversations and, you know, the overall understanding that this is a place for us, right? This is our safe space. It's not a lot of safe spaces in the Black American community, but the barbershop has really been one of those places that has bridged the gap between not only affluent Black American men, but also those who are in poverty, those who are going through things. It was able-bodied human beings finding a way to communicate through something that we all have to do, right? A very human thing, which is getting our hair cut and also taking care of our hygiene, right? Which is a big thing in the Black American community. So it's always interesting to see kind of the integral pieces that I've seen, at least over my time, how they will try to co-opt the Black American movement by using barbershops and the co-op of barbershops to be able to push whatever message that they may have, right? As we've seen recently, right? There's been certain right-wing influencers who have gone out of their way to make those conversations and debates inside Black barbershops. Now, let's keep it clear. That is strategic because they understand the influence, right? And they understand the power that Black barbershop possesses, right? The conversations and think tanks that have been spawned out of Black barbershops, right? They know that. And so for them, it is a target for them to be able to go into Black barbershops from not only influencers, but politicians at large, right? The most influential people have had to go to Black barbershops to be able to speak to the Black community. And that's not, just for no reason. That's by design. Enslaved people worked as barbers, often hired out by their enslavers, which provided them with a degree of mobility and a chance to earn money. Some were able to earn their freedom through this skill. After the emancipation, Black barbers began to open up shops in their own communities, serving Black clients and building economic stability. Some of those barbers were successful entrepreneurs, even becoming millionaires, and used their wealth to reinvest in their communities by funding schools, churches, and civil rights efforts, right? Black barbershops became more than just places for haircuts. They were evolved into vital centers for community life. They served as informal meeting places for organized and discussing labor rights, fair wages, and civil rights efforts. Historically, Black barbershops served as a unique space where men from different backgrounds could gather, a role that has helped shape the unique culture of Black American barbershops, right? Black barbershops can be a place where Black men can find communities to share perspectives and learn about each other's cultures and identities. The cultural experience provided by these barbershops is considered vital to the Black American community, offering a sense of belonging and pride, right? Some modern barbershop host events that promote social justices and community advancement, continuing the tradition of barbershops being a force for good. And that's just facts, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, The Black American Barbershop has always been the hub and has always been the place of solace sometimes for those who are going through things, for those who are feeling some type of way about society, about what's happening to us as Black Americans. The barbershop was the place where we could go and we could say, hey man, how do you guys feel about this? Or what's going on your side of town? What do you guys see? What are you guys feeling? And then we would be able to what? Compare notes, look at each other's experiences, understand what each other was going through. And then at the same time, we're going to leave fresh, clean, and feeling a lot better about ourselves once we do leave there, right? It's a very therapeutic place. And I think sometimes a lot of disruption, right, is based on the fact that people do not want Black Americans to have a space where we can go, where we can feel a certain level of relaxation, a certain level of, hey man, I understand what you're going through and I feel that too. That was why I had to make this video, because when I was in the barbershop, I'm sitting around, I'm looking at all my brothers and sisters, and I'm just enjoying the vibes, and I understand the actual meaning, right? What this place actually means. And it really, really felt like something that I had to make some sort of a video about, or something about the history, because Black Americans right now, we are going through a delineation process and we are separating ourselves, right? And one of those places that I felt like these conversations happen is inside of the barbershop. I talked to a lot of my Black American brothers in the barbershop, and they are expressing the same things that I'm expressing, right? About what's going on and how, you know, our lineage has been co-opted and how they feel about certain things and what they're thinking. And you know what? It really just made me feel good, because I'm like, yes, like there is a place where these conversations are happening and we're able to do it not only in my generation, but also towards the elders and also the youth, the ones who are coming behind us. And so that really just, it dawned on me how important the Black American barbershop is to our ecosystem as Black Americans. And so I had to make a video about this. Now we can get into the fun part, the cultural influence of the Black American haircut. All right, y'all. We already see Kid and Play off top. You feel me? They were the quintessential mainstream face of Black American barbering, guys. When this series, franchise, whatever you want to say, when this took off, everyone, and I mean everyone across the world, was enamored and could not get enough of the Black American haircut, okay? Whether it was the Gumby, the fade, the parts, whatever you want to say, Kid and Play, Black Americans, their movie franchise, and what they were able to accomplish for hip-hop, and not only that, the hip-hop cultural influence, it was worldwide. It changed the landscape of how people wore their hair, right? And so from my perspective, I thought it was important to also add in that aspect, because like I said, nowadays it's a big conversation of what Black folks have done and what is our culture and all this other stuff. But in reality, we've already made it clear that we are the ones who set the trends. We're the ones who start from the bottom, right? And we're the ones who created it. And so for us, it was definitely important to make sure that we gatekeep and protect our cultural relevance. The modern fade haircut, and does not describe it doesn't describe a direct inventor, but it was a haircut that evolved from the military style, but it was actually popularized and redefined by Black barbers in hip-hop culture in the mid to late 20th century. The style has roots in the practical haircuts of the U.S. military from the 1940s and the 1950s, but Black barbers transformed it into a fashionable and versatile look starting in the 80s, right? So, I mean, clearly we understood what that meant and how influential the fade haircut has become, and just the overall look, right? Like they described, right? The styling, how versatile that look has become within our culture. Bobby Brown bringing the Gumby haircut to the forefront in the masses, right? And then Nas being able to take that fade to the next level, right? And like they said, popularized, okay? We are the trendsetters. We are the ones who make stuff hot, right? And so, yes, a lot of those guys who were in the military, a lot of those Black Americans, okay, who were in the military in the 1940s and 50s, they were also barbers. So they took that style, they brought it back with them to their barbershops, like I mentioned, and then they popularized the style by turning it into what we see today, which is one of the, if not the most famous haircuts worldwide, right? If you describe a fade worldwide, most people will understand it now. Back in the day, they probably didn't. But guess what? Black Americans, we brought that to the forefront. We were the ones who brought it to the masses. So now everyone, right? Everyone can enjoy this great haircut, and also they can enjoy the style that Black Americans always bring, right? And so that was really important for me to do this video, because I also want to continue that conversation about the cultural relevancy and also the understanding that Black Americans are the trendsetters. We are the ones who set the trend. We are the ones who set the standard. And so now all I want to do is make sure that I document and create a platform that celebrates and represents the facts and the understanding that Black Americans, we are the ones, all right? We're the ones, all right? They said they the ones, we the ones, all right? And so anybody out there who loves barbering, let me know you guys' story about your barbers, where you guys come from. I'm gonna drop a quick little ad about mine. One sec. All right, so here I am at my barbershop, Styles Inc. This was a couple of days ago, still haven't worn the wave cap, but did you see? Fresh cut, no enhancements, you feel me? Just old school, clean barbering, right? And then I got some, old pictures of me, you feel me? Fresh waved up, you dig? You see me clean, you know what I'm saying? That's just some of the cool stuff you would see if you go to Styles Inc. Salon, right? And this is also, my main picture that you guys probably see mostly. And this was, fresh. This is how I usually roll, you know what I'm saying? Low Caesar, tapered up, beard on point, you feel me? And it would only be thanks to my boy Alonzo Tyler at Styles Inc. Y'all make sure if you're in Long Beach, go check out my boy. He does great work, and he's a great business owner and a true Black American, you feel me? And so salute to him, and salute to all the Black barbers out there. You guys are what makes the world go round. I appreciate you guys and what you guys bring to the community. And I wanted to make this video to shout out to all the barbers out there in the ecosystem that is the Black American Barbershop. You guys are extremely important to us, and we appreciate you guys so much. And the inspiration that came from this video was just me being in a barbershop, you know what I'm saying? And me feeling that energy and understanding how important it is to us and how important it is to our community. And so make sure that we gatekeep our barbershops too, guys. Make sure that when we are having these conversations, you are aware of those who are around you and those who are trying to infiltrate into our spaces. Let's make sure that we continue to protect and to also make sure we gatekeep our spaces that belong to us as Black Americans, y'all. So let me know, like I said, in the comments where you guys are from, where you get your hair cut, and how important the Black barbershop is to you. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of my new followers who have been coming through. Appreciate you guys so much, and the support that you guys have been giving has been, super outstanding. So thank you so much. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Brandon B. This is Elite Media, and I'm out. Peace.